Alright, so this is about Traverse City Police incident that occurred near or at the safe harbor. I saw it on Overheard, so take it as you will. But here's the video and then I'll go over it.
I want Chris to here right now or I'm gonna fucking flip out. You like that? Really? Are you serious? I don't have anything on me. Knock it off. I'm not making anything harder. You guys just keep going. We didn't do anything. We're walking and you just run up to us. No, I don't.
What's your name?
Stop thinking me. You don't have the right to think. You don't have a search warrant. Hey, why are you slamming my head in my face? Stop. I'm not doing anything. You got me in cuffs. You don't have a search warrant. Stop. I said stop. I said stop.
Stop, dude.
Stop.
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 I'm not doing anything. You're doing it.
No!
You're doing it. This is all recorded. This is all recorded. You're abusing me. You are abusing me. I'm asking what's going on, and all you do is fucking just keep ranting. What are you looking for? Stop taking stuff out of. I'm giving you an order. What are you doing?
Stop.
I'm not doing anything. What are you trying to
Listen to what I'm
do?
telling you. Stay
Look,
there and don't move.
you're on some bullshit, dude. This is bullshit. I haven't done anything and I haven't resisted anything. How? Did you say so? How? Help! 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 Jenny! No, you. What are you? Why are you talking? It's all being recorded, Dan.
Stop!
Baby girl. Baby girl.
No!
Baby girl.
No.
Slow down.
I will stop if you say move!
Can you talk to me? I'm not doing anything. You guys are escalating this. You just roll up on us and just snatch us up. We don't know what the fuck's going on. You guys need to stop. You guys need to stop. Right now. You guys. Help! 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 Jenny! No, you, what are you, why are you tugging on me? Who are you? Who are you? So you're just gonna say you're good? I want Christian here right now. I want Christian here right now and I'm gonna fucking rip out. You like that? Really? Are you serious? I don't have anything on. Knock it off. I'm not making anything harder. You guys just keep going. We didn't do anything. We're walking and you just run up to us. No, I don't. Stop thinking that you don't have the right to think. You don't have a search warrant. Hey, why are you slamming my head in my face? Stop! I'm not doing anything. You got me in cuffs. You don't have a search warrant. Stop! I said stop! I said stop! Stop!
Stop.
Stop!
Stop.
I'm not doing anything. You're doing it.
No!
You're doing it. This is all recorded. This is all recorded. You're abusing me. You are abusing me. I'm asking what's going on, and all you do is fucking just keep ranting. What are you looking for? Stop taking stuff out of. I'm giving you an order. What are you doing? I'm I'm not doing anything. What are you trying to do?
I'm telling you.
Look!
There, don't move.
You're on the bullshit, dude. This is bullshit. I haven't done anything and I haven't resisted anything. How?
Okay, so that is the video. As you can imagine, this is going to divide people into two separate camps. Those who think it's excessive and hate the cops, and those who think it's okay. But I'm on both sides. So I'll start out with saying that an individual that posted this about more or less, is this a stop and frisk state? Here you go. So, as it states, you do not need to carry a physical identification while simply walking or standing in public. Nor are you required to answer routine or general questions from law enforcement. So, that's Michigan. So, shout out to that person. And so with that out of the way, I'm going to respond to 5 different comments in particular. So, response number 1. Alright, so Jacob says that it's not excessive. He was actually being pretty gentle with him. I will agree with that. I mean, I've seen way worse treatment from police officers to people that are handcuffed. We're talking German suplexes, kicks to the face, all sorts of egregious things. I mean, there is a Florida cop, for Christ's sakes, that was so scared by an akorn, he shot the ever-living shit out of his own vehicle, thinking that the guy had a gun in there or something like that, you know. Trust me, it's way worse in other places. I always give props to the Traverse City Police Department because their officers are much more tame than a lot of the other ones out there. So I don't give them as much shit as I do other police departments, simply for that reason alone. Then he continues, that cop could probably just slam him on the ground, no problem. And plus, she's resisting arrest right there. And again, he's right. You know, they could have just slammed him or her onto the ground, no problem, because resisting. And they can get away with way worse than that, but they chose not to. So he's right on that end of things. There's other reasons why this is going on, so until you know the truth, stop trying to post and make the cops look bad. It's not that the poster was trying to make them look bad, it's that the cops kind of do it to themselves. No de-escalation, and for what it's worth, you know, even though it wasn't like super excessive, it still technically was a bit excessive for the situation at hand. I'm not saying it was like over the top excessive, but there was no need or necessity to slam that guy's head against the back of the window like that. I mean, that was just bullshit. So now we'll go to the next. Response number 2. Alright, CK says, so many people in the city addicted to drugs, have mental problems, which is true. I feel really bad for them. I just watched that video 5 times in a row. I think the slamming of the head to the window was straight up unnecessary. I don't get how you think that is necessary to slam a guy's head off the back of the police vehicle. I can see put his face against it because he was moving his hands, but to slam his head against it was unnecessary. And that I absolutely agree with. There was absolutely no necessity to do that. Again, obviously, there are police that are way worse than this, but you know, for the sake of the situation, for the sake of the video, for the sake of the topic, that was definitely unnecessary and could have been handled way better. Do better. And the lady, he continues, with the stuffed animals, I've seen her down by where I work plenty of times. She has had her own issues, and that is not right to treat anybody like that. That is true, especially given the situation. You know where you are, you know what these people are going through, you know they're homeless, you know a lot of things in that location in particular, that particular building. You need to understand that just because other people understand the concept of not resisting or, you know, listening to them as an authority figure, not everyone knows this. They don't have the capacity to understand this. So they're going to react in a way that most people wouldn't, whether it be mental illness or otherwise. So you need to go into the situation better trained, I would have to say, because de-escalation would have been fantastic for the situation. Understanding how to deal with people with mental illness definitely would have came in handy, you know. And he continues, I'll probably get some hate from what I just said, but I don't really care. No human being on this earth needs to be treated like that. I understand resisting, I get it. If he was resisting, I get it. But to slam a man's head into the back of a truck window to where it moved his glasses, that was uncalled for. I agree. Absolutely uncalled for. On to the next. Number 3. Kayla states, that's because the Traverse City Police have nothing better to do but to harass people so they can have a reason to shoot, kill, or arrest. Laugh my ass off. Pathetic Traverse City Police. Y'all are seriously pathetic. All you do is harass people. I disagree and can confirm myself that is wholly, completely, thoroughly untrue. As I stated earlier in this video, the Traverse City Police Department extremely tame compared to a lot of the other police departments out there. We are kind of lucky in Traverse City to actually have the good cops that we do. While they didn't demonstrate perfect, shall we say, behavior in this situation, it definitely could have been a lot worse. And I can tell you from just my interactions that I unfortunately had with the police under stupid circumstances, aka the camera I'm using right now on the tripod that I'm using right now, got confused by someone as a long gun. I made a video about it for those interested. And I explained, you know, how I felt I could have almost gotten shot because of some blind, dense dumbass reporting my camera and tripod as a gun. Like, I mean, you gotta be retarded. But my interaction, even though I was kind of giving them a little bit of crap because it was just as embarrassing for me as it probably was for them, because they had to follow up on it, they took it with ease and they were pretty cool about it. They didn't go onto, you know, an ego trip or anything bad like that. So they weren't trigger happy like I thought they were going to be, especially considering the situation. And during this time, this was during the mass hysteria of, you know, public shootings and school shootings and such. Traverse City wants to feel included, so they have this whole hysteria of, oh, it's going to happen here now for sure, and, you know, people wanting to be victim, blah, blah, blah. So it was during a pretty anxious time, and while he did have his gun out, I do believe he didn't do anything. But nevertheless, I can definitely tell you, just from the interactions that I've had with the police, that no, they most definitely do not go out of their way to harass people. They do not shoot or kill people. I mean, I've lived here in the Traverse City area since 2011, and I barely see the police around. And I'm in the downtown area, for Christ's sakes. And then when I'm driving, I barely see any police too. That's why people are speeding all the time, because we don't have a highway patrol or a dedicated unit or peoples that enforce the road laws and all that. It just, when people do get pulled over, it just so happens to be that police officer was there at the time. It's very few and far in between that I even see police, much less them doing something. So to try to claim that they have nothing better to do but harass people to have a reason to shoot or kill is as blatantly wrong as it gets. And factually incorrect, intellectually incorrect. I mean, this is just complete and total bias and emotional response at work here. It's a cognitive dissonance at best. You know, yes, you can say that the police didn't act in accordance to a particular standard that they probably should have, given the circumstance and the individuals that they were dealing with. But by no means does this mean you need to start categorizing or grouping them all into this group that they're out hunting people or whatever. No, that's being way too over dramatic. Anyway, I've been on this too long, so on to the next. Number 4. Terrence says, cops love to escalate and wonder why they're hated. I semi-agree with this. Now, as a whole, like police around the world, absolutely 100% agree. Traverse City, local in particular, semi. I will say for this particular situation, it applies. Obviously, a lot of people don't like what they saw in that video, myself included to a certain degree, and it's because those cops escalated the situation. I mean, if you really think about it, even though they were resisting, they weren't really doing anything. I mean, they're, looking around, especially the screaming woman, she was not doing anything. Like, yeah, you're non-compliant or whatever, but she's not doing it in a way that would interfere with what the officer was doing. And then they had to double team her. I mean, get some training. But in particular, that cop to that one guy, yeah, that was escalation unnecessarily. It's only going to make the situation worse. Anyone with common sense, you don't even need to believe, whether you are an officer or you're not, professionally or non-professionally, you as a human being should know if you slam someone's face into the back of a vehicle against glass, it's going to make the situation worse. So then they're going to wonder, well, why do people hate us? Or that officer in particular, why am I getting all this hate? Well, duh, why do you think? So I do partially agree with this. Alright, and the last response is to this guy. So, number 5. Okay, BC says, Michigan law allows officers to briefly stop and question individuals if there is a specific objective reason to suspect criminal activity. During such a stop, officers may request a person's name, address, and date of birth. Failure to comply in this context could potentially lead to charges such as obstruction, justice, or resisting arrest. But only if the officer's request is tied to legitimate investigatory purpose. So that means you can't just walk up on them and be like, give me your shit, tell me this, tell me that. It has to be to a legitimate crime, which, at least from what I'm gathering, there was no particular reason for this to occur. So if they get a lawyer, I'm sure they could actually fight this very easily. But if somehow they were in a crime for one thing or the other, I don't know, then sure, they had the right to ask for that information. And unfortunately, because of the cops, they escalated it, and it ended up being what it was like. But the context is everything. So, I mean, a lot of the commenters on this Facebook post were right to say that there's probably more to the story, and I will agree, at least to that context of it, that there probably is, but at least the witness to it gave a good amount of that story, so let's move on to that. Okay, so the videographer states the following. For those of you who are not reading the caption, the man and the woman were just walking to Safe Harbor. They were having a conversation. It was a little loud in what normal conversation would be, but that's not unusual for around here. Police officers roll in and ask to see the ID. The man then said he did not have an ID. He's homeless and he doesn't have one. The cop then proceeded to harass a couple and give them shit about not having ID, and proceeded to ask the man if he had any warrants, and he was not cooperating. And then the cop started to get more aggressive than that when he slapped the cuffs on him. And if you listen in the very beginning, they're asking the police officer to just stop for a minute and listen to them and have a conversation. Just slow down, and the cop is refusing to do so and getting exceedingly more aggressive with them, and that's when all hell breaks loose. The woman starts screaming and they arrest him. See, this is obviously from only what she knew from her perspective before, during, and after the video there. And for the sake that they specifically were saying to just stop a minute and listen to them and have a conversation, that's being completely civil. It does not warrant what was shown in that video. So this context definitely brings more to light why this is being considered excessive force. I can understand that a little bit better now. Then the same person made a part 2. So she states that I did not intervene because the cops would have just arrested me right along with them, which is probably true. After this happened, the officer came to my door and asked me for the video recording, and I gave it to them. I also told him I seen and heard the whole thing, and I did not agree with their methods, which is rightful. I can understand that. And I think he was abusing his power, and he was. That's what, and then he told her, that's what people like them get. Oh, really? So the only thing I felt I could do was post it here. Those people did not deserve to be treated that way. They could have handled it differently, in my opinion. I think it escalated because the cop did not handle the situation correctly, plain and simple. Absolutely spot on. Not only were you spot on with how this officer could have handled this situation better, but the simple fact that the mentality of this officer was, and I quote, that's what people like them get. Wow. Shitty as fuck. You need to do better. That is disgusting mentality right there. No wonder you were being such an ego-tripping, power-tripping asshole. And so, basically, the only thing that he felt he could do, because of how that's what people like them get, tells me a lot. One, shitty training, which isn't surprising. I've stated this so many different times. Police officers are so undertrained, it's ridiculous. As someone that beats people up in the octagon, we have superior training in de-escalation than fucking police officers. And that should tell you everything right there. Cage fighters and martial artists, tournament goers, you name it. Any category of martial arts have superior de-escalation training than police officers. People who fight in the cage, who are trained to be violent, aggressive, and go for the kill win, have superior, by a landslide, de-escalation training than police agencies, police officers. The academy doesn't train their officers anywhere near good enough. Low quality training equals low quality police officers. And that's why you get mentality like that, the bully mentality. Bully with the badge. Oh, that's what people like them get? What? Wow. Unfucking believable. Like I said, obviously, you know, to wrap it all up here, it could have been way worse. There are way shittier officers out there, and there are way worse in general police departments out there, and Traverse City should actually be pretty thankful for the police officer unit that we have in the department we get, because they're pretty cool. Like I said, even I've dealt with them in stupid scenarios, I think 3 times total ever, and they've always been pretty decent people. So, you know, yeah, they're gonna fuck up sometimes, and maybe there's gonna be a bad apple here and there, but as a department as a whole, I would say they're pretty cool. They're pretty okay people, but they can't help what they are given, right? So if you're trained to be a certain way, or you lack training because the academy doesn't train you well enough, well, I mean, you work with what you got, you know. So I can see both sides here. You know, it sucks that they are this way, but at the same time, that's how they're trained to be, essentially. If they went to significant strikes, for instance, and got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training, that would definitely would have helped the situation with the female there, utilizing safe, effective takedowns, or, you know, to utilize, you know, decentralization techniques from a very specific police officer point of view, by the way. Not just your tournament cage fighting style, but there is a training program that Significant Strikes has, very specific to police officers. You go there, you're gonna be a better officer than your whole entire department, tenfold. You'll be better with takedowns, with de-escalation. I mean, just as a human being in general, much less an officer in general. You know, so it all depends on how seriously you want to take being an officer, and if you want to be the best officer that you can be, not only for your agency, your department, but you as a person as well. But like I said, they're given shitty low quality training, so that's all they got to work with. So of course they're gonna deal with shit in a shitty way. But at the same time, they're pretty cool compared to, say, Florida officers, or Georgia officers, or West Virginia, or whatever, you know, North Carolina, etc., etc. There are some shitty fucking officers out there, I'll tell you what. Our officers aren't as bad as you people think. So, I'll just leave it at that. Until next time.